2 new leagues in 1 week? What the heck? And yes, you read that title correctly. Grampantamax is coming to singles. Outside of playthroughs and Nuzlocke, I've never had a singles battle in my life. I have, however, watched a bunch of singles draft leagues. One of my biggest inspirations since I started draft league content creating is the Uzi Gunner. So I have at least a theory on how singles is played. So I'm not going in completely blind. This is a brand new league, and for this season I believe we're using a pretty standard Wi-Fi league rule set with mid-tier Terra captains. So I'm not going to muck around, and let's just get straight into my first ever singles draft. I did do a little research and some prep, but with my learnings from the recent doubles draft, I didn't want to over prep as I have in the past. I had my first few picks lined up. I had an idea who I wanted my Terra captains to be, but besides that, I mostly just wanted to pick mons that I've either used before in doubles or I knew would just be super consistent in singles. I got pick 11 out of 12, so I was right on that wheel, which honestly I actually kind of liked. It gave me a chance to see what the other coaches were valuing with their top picks, and it also meant that I had a great chance of getting my first 2 mons. So, with my first ever pick in singles draft, I chose Iron Treads. From what I've seen of singles draft, this thing's a monster. Fast, hits really hard, and it's very, very versatile. It can be a defensive pivot, it can be a setup sweeper, it can be my hazard setter, hazard removal. Hell, you can just ban this thing and let it blow shit up. I love the freedom that Treads can give me with team building each. With my second pick, I grabbed my first Terra captain. Chandelier. Flashfire, Terra Grass, choice specs, 145 special attack. The candle is just going to burn down the lead. But like Treads, it's a very versatile piece. Bin blocker, Trick Room setter, it's got great coverage, Wisp. It's another Pokemon that can do it all. It was around this point that I decided to just rip up the original plan and lean into Grampantamax to the max. Draft up a team of Pokemon that were either classic singles mons or just fit that old man vibe. So, with my third pick, I had to get the absolute classic. The original, especially defensive, grounded poison. And backup spinner. Tentacruel. This is a mon I've been wanting to use in doubles for a long time, but never been able to find the team for it to work on. Pick 4, I wanted a versatile offensive fairy type, but I had to keep it just grumpy. I had to keep it grim. There's only one mon that fit that bill. Grimmsnarl. 3 great abilities. 120 attack. Yes, people forget that. Dark and fairy typing, just great. My opponents will sleep on this guy, and they will get punished for it. Mon number 5, and back to the classic. Bulky electric type, that also a ground immunity. And bound to annoy the hell out of my opponents. The original electric bird. Zapdos. Fingers crossed I don't have to rely on Hurricane too much, but outside of that, Zapdos is a classic for a reason. Speed control, damage control, weather control, plus much needed pivoting power, combined with a respectable damage output. Love it. Keeping with the ground immunities, pick 6, I went to the lakes. Desperate. If you've watched any of my VGC drafts, you know I like my Psychic type. The toolkits these guys have is amazing. So, to get one that's got the defensive capabilities that Mesprit has, plus is able to be my second and unfortunately last Terra Captain, phenomenal to me. Here is where I figured out exactly how I wanted to construct the team and what I wanted to do in the grace period if a very specific Mon was available. So I needed to try and start plugging holes in that final squad. For that, I needed a fighting type, grass type, and a steel type. The obvious pick here, when you list that out, was the channel mascot, Lucario. It fits 2 of those, it's versatile, it's just a generally good, classic Pokemon. But I needed that steel type to be a fairy visit. So, fighting type, I again dived back into the pool of forgotten legends. Arachion. Being a Whimsicott Joya in doubles, you bet your ass I played me some Terracotta. I am really excited to finally get to use the big man in draft. Faster than the base 100s that run rampant, great coverage, it's stupidly hard, amazing scarf candidate. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to use. Next up, I grabbed the modern day Grandpa, since unfortunately Grandpa wasn't available. Wochien. I honestly have no plans for this guy. I'm not sure what the hell it can do in singles. I just thought it fit the old man squad perfectly for vibes. Now though, things got tricky. That steel type. I desperately needed it, and it was giving me a freaking headache. So I had to go with an oldie but a goodie. Registeel. It's way too slow for my liking, but it does give me a ridiculously bulky switch hit, a lead rocker that doesn't need a sash, and a potential setup sweeper if I wanted to go with an Iron Press set. The final pick, I was just wanting to make the type chart look better, but in doing so, I discovered what I thought was an absolutely phenomenal Pokemon that had somehow flown under the radar, and one that, my knowledge, has always been a staple in competitive singles, that I guess maybe these young'uns are starting to disrespect. Vaporeon. Great Wish Passer, low pivot for momentum, yet another setup candidate with Calm Mind. I'm not complaining of getting that for my last pick. However, this, of course, was not the end. I wasn't quite happy with this as a Grampantamax team. It needed more Grandpa. It needed more judgmental, grumpy oldness. It needed Landorus Incarnate. So, sorry, guys. I immediately gave someone an absurd freebie by dropping Iron Treads. Please, don't hate me for it. It's for content. I swear. Now I had to get to work. The team was good. I liked it. But it was just lacking something. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I consulted the Oracle, T. Clark. Together, we constructed a squad I believe still has that grandpa flavor, but at the same time is devious and is going to be a lot of fun to play. We weren't happy with Tentacruel as a lone spinner, or Brachion as my main physical setup candidate. So, out went the Jellyfish. Out, unfortunately, went Grandpa Snail. In came the OG Wart type and a devious little Oni. Blastoise and Ogerpon. Now, Pond doesn't really fit the old man theme directly, at least, but it's a very fun Pokemon that can maybe turn the frowns of some of the other grandpas upside down. And I don't think Blastoise needs any introduction. It's a great Pokemon, an OG spinner that offers more coverage and just generally more options than Tentacruel. But with Blasty on board and Tentacruel out, I needed another grounded poison type. I also needed to get some more points because that trade is -5. Unfortunately, that meant out with the burb. I was really looking forward to using Zapdos, but I just couldn't afford to keep it. In its place though, it's a Ronin Classic. The punk rocker of Pokemon. The Metallica fan of Mons. A fellow 80s kid. Toxtricity. I'm not entirely sure what T. Clark saw in this guy, but he was pretty insistent on it. And I'm not going to complain. I love me some Tox. Great special attacking Scarf candidate. Toxic Spikes Enjoyer. T-Wave immunity. And a Mon that I'm really familiar with using. Finally, I needed to patch my Ghost weakness. And add a little more firepower, but it needed to keep with the classics. So out went Vaporeon, in came Porygon Z. I don't think I'm as happy with this final squad in terms of the grandpa content vibes as I was with that post-trade version, but I have to bow to the superior singles knowledge of the Oracle. This team does have a lot of immediate offense, which suits my playstyle from doubles and is going to be very, very fun to play, which for my first attempt at a singles league is the most important thing. If I'm going to get crushed every week, I want to have fun doing it, and I want to go out with a smile on my face. So, drop a sub to keep tabs on the squad and my attempt at infiltrating a singles league, or just to see me get my ass beat in a new format. And I will see you all for week 1 of the Elite Forest Draft League.